Good afternoon and welcome back to Jonesy Chats Wrestling. In just a few seconds, we're going to be telling you about last night's Go Home Monday Night Raw. We're on the road to Fastlane. We're going to be talking about our early thoughts of Fastlane and Wrestlemania. Stay tuned. We want to hear your opinions in the comments, and we hope you watch Jonesy Chats Wrestling with George and Steve coming up next. Stay tuned, guys. It's on the way. Hi, welcome back to Jonesy Chats Wrestling on YouTube. I'm George. I'm joined by Steve. We've got a fun show coming up. In just a few seconds, we're going to talk about last night's Monday Night Raw. Also, late in the show, we'll be discussing the updated Fastlane and Wrestlemania card. For anyone who's joining us first time today, and new viewers and older, welcome. We hope you enjoy the show, and please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Please do support what we're trying to do here at Jonesy Chats Wrestling, and please, as always, get involved in the comments with your opinion on Raw and last night's Fastlane. Before we go any further, how are you today, Steve?
Very good, man. Very, very good.
It's good to have you here. Obviously, on the go home week to Fastlane, crazy Raw, a lot to talk about. So let's kind of get into it.
Yeah, so I lucked out this week over the last couple of weeks with Raw.
Yeah, I think the thing is, this almost felt like a WrestleMania show. It's almost like Fastlane's happened already. The amount they did and built. But let's kind of get into it. Let's break down the show and just go through the details, the key talking points of it. So obviously, Raw kind of starts up. We've got a strong kind of opening promo there from Bobby Lashley. He's there. Obviously, the MVP's there as well with him. Are you a fan of the Bobby Lashley MVP dynamic? It's interesting to see the way that the Hurt Business have almost like sort of not really involved MVP anymore.
Yeah, I like the dynamic of the two of them. The problem is why do they never seem to be having the four of them together anymore? It just seems to be they're now separating MVP and Bobby from Cedric and Shelton, and it's. I don't know, like they were a foursome before. Is it because he's main event now that they can't be with the other two? I find it really strange. But yeah, the dynamic is really good. Say the scary thing is obviously when MVP first, like when he joined up with Bobby, he foretold that he was going to help Bobby win the championship. So yeah, it's good.
I think the thing with it, I think the interesting thing is it's a similar dynamic to Heyman and Lesnar. I think it works because Bobby isn't a particularly great talker, whereas MVP is a fantastic talker. Looking at kind of this opening promo, then this opening promo basically ends up with them basically trading insults. We have Drew McIntyre come out. Drew McIntyre is basically planting the seeds for WrestleMania. It ends up with The Miz being there. The Miz kind of is just like sort of an afterthought in this. When it looks like Lashley's about to leave on the advice of MVP, Lashley kind of jumps on McIntyre. It then ends up with kind of McIntyre getting sort of done over, really. What were your kind of thoughts of that opening promo?
Drew was really good in this one. Like normally, his promos are just kind of like the same things, just rinse and repeat. But no, I really like his promo today was really good. Like I was actually taken back by how well it was, especially like where he had Miz standing behind him on the apron, turning around, interjecting himself with a Miz. Yeah, it was really, really good.
I think it's interesting the amount of dynamics with this. I think the fact you got Sheamus there, you got MVP, you got Miz and Morrison, and I think the thing with it was a really good start to kind of roll out. It was 15 minutes. It felt like 5 to me. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, no, the pacing was good. What was I going to say? Yeah, we showed like the whole promo. I was like confused as to what they were trying to do here initially because I was like, are they going to try and build to a 4-way at Mania? Is they going to build to a 3-way at Mania? And obviously, as the night progresses, it changes. But that was the only thing I was confused about is what they were trying to achieve with this promo. But yeah, I say Drew come across good. Bobby done well. MVP is MVP, and yeah, Miz is just in that irritating character phase, which he does well. So.
Definitely. We then had this Drew McIntyre mismatch. This was very much a squash. It went on for kind of 10 minutes. Drew clearly dominated the Miz. For me, it was the right move. They want to give him a dominant win. I was surprised it went so long. They were almost sort of stalling for time. That's what I felt. I felt that this could have been done in 5 minutes. What was your kind of thoughts of the match?
I want to ask your opinion on this whole leg slap thing because there was a point where Miz comes off the ropes and he kicks Drew, and there's no slap to normally where the connection is, and it sort of threw me off because it was like it doesn't make the move sound as impactful. Whereas later on in the night, you had other people doing it. So I was trying to find out what your opinion was to it because if you don't have that in the match, it takes away from a match. But otherwise, the match was really good. So when you get Morrison thrown out, I love it when they get ejected, and they just seem to overreact as to why they've been ejected. And Morrison's like, "What did I do? What did I do?" And it's just, yeah, it's hilarious, man. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it was an alright match. Didn't appreciate the way that Drew seemed to be milking the beatdown he got before, when bearing in mind the one he had at Chamber was a lot worse, and he seemed to be a bit worse off from this one. That was
I think the thing with it regarding the leg slap is something kind of that they've done iconic. Apparently, the reason why Vince McMahon dropped it, somebody on SmackDown did something. An unnamed person did it on SmackDown. Vince didn't like it, but it is a missing fin. It is something that for years we've taken for granted, probably, I'd say. Kind of looking at the next kind of segment we have Braun Strowman kind of backstage. He's basically spouting lines from Forrest Gump, stupid does, stupid does. Further carrying on this kind of childish segment. Braun wanted a match right now with Shane. It's just kind of them basically squabbling. And I think it was Braun basically covering up for Shane McMahon's poor promo last week, in my honest opinion. What were your thoughts?
Braun was really good. Like, for some reason, the roles were a bit reversed this week. Like last week, I felt Braun had a bad promo and Shane was really good. But this week, Braun, no stuttering, no nothing, delivered really well, really, really good. And Shane seemed to be the one that was stuttering all over it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the thing is, it's just one of them sort of hyping on, sort of going along steadily with the feud they've created. Going into kind of the next match, the next talking point was Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke versus Naomi and Lana. This was a mess of a match. A couple of things that I really didn't like about it. In the middle of the match, we had Oscar's music come out. What's the purpose of that? That is a total utter joke. I know she's the focus. She's back now after being away for weeks. But for me, a needless match. It wasn't even a number one contendership. We do get the win of Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke get the win there. Big surprise. It looks like the Lana pushes over. I was shocked that they didn't get the win here. What were your thoughts?
I almost zoned out to start with because you obviously had Nia and Shayna sitting at commentary table, and they asked Nia a question, and the first thing she mentioned was Reginald, and I was like, I swear I'm just going to zone out and just not pay attention in a minute if they bring this guy up again. But match was all right. Lana and Naomi looked good as a tag team. Their intro together was really good. I thought it's actually a well packaged team now. Like, you look like a tag team. The result was a bit of a surprise. I was expecting Naomi and Lana to get the win, but yeah, it just went the complete opposite way.
I think the thing with it is it's just one of them where they're just sort of simply trading wins and losses, but Reginald missing this week was a surprise to me. Going to go to the comments quickly. Dominic Mills raised a great points. Hi, Dom. Thanks for watching. Shane had a terrible promo last week. Agreed. Probably one of the worst promos of the year. I think it was just horrific. It was like watching sort of a black and white screen for 10 or 20 minutes. That's the way I felt. What were your thoughts of Shane McMahon's promo last year?
Last week, you mean? Yeah.
Last week. It feels like last year already.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Braun's was better this week, and Shane's was better. Shane's was still bad last week, but that's how bad Braun's was last week, that he was worse than Shane's last week, and Shane's was bad. So for the roles to be reversed, but I didn't say Braun delivered a really good promo this week. Yeah, Shane. The only thing that it's more like this bullying thing that they're trying to do with these two, and I don't understand. Like, WWE are very against this whole bullying campaign and stuff like that. I know obviously Braun's probably going to get the upper hand at some point and win. But yeah, it's just like, it's just a bullying angle. I don't get it. What's the point? Braun's like 7 foot tall. What's Shane trying to achieve by bullying a guy that big that you know is going to hurt you?
Yeah. It's one of them thrown together kind of feuds. I think it's a waste of time. Going into some positivity, we had the Raw Tag Team Championship. Obviously, the Hurt Business defending against the New Day next. This was obviously the first match since they faced each other at TLC. And for me, what a superb match. I think it was absolutely sublime. They blew it out of the park. New Tag Team Champions here. Obviously, the New Day, 11-time Tag Team Champions. Great win. I like the finish. Daybreak on there. And for me, it's an interesting move. I think the Hurt Business Tag Team reign has kind of stalled. So this was a clever move. And what were your kind of thoughts of the match before we go to the aftermath next?
I loved this match. Like I told you before, I love tag team wrestling, and this match was everything. To back on Steve's quote last week, New Day still look fantastic in their Mortal Kombat gear with the unicorns replacing the dragon. But this match, I was like, please don't end this match. This match is fantastic. But you could sort of tell that New Day were going to win, because obviously just before, Kofi's got the biggest smile on his face, like a win face, like he knows that they're winning this match. But the match laid out was fantastic. I love this. I love tag team wrestling.
You would have thought that I've seen this match numerous times, it wouldn't be any good, but they were so good out there. And I think this is the thing with, if they could build up some decent tag teams in that division, they can make that tag team belt a cornerstone, I think, of Raw, really. But great match. Obviously, the Hurt Business not getting the win, which is interesting. Let's go to the aftermath then. So after the New Day win the belt, we get AJ Styles music hit. He's there with Omos, and the shocking announcement, we know AJ Styles has got a Wrestlemania match now. So AJ Styles and Omos going to be facing New Day. My original thoughts were, what the fuck? I didn't see that coming. I thought AJ Styles was going to face Triple H. There is some positivity to this, though. AJ Styles, obviously, fantastic worker. He's going to be carrying how green Omos is in this match, and I think all three of them will be good. Very interesting, though, to have AJ Styles in this spot. What were your kind of thoughts of AJ Styles and Omos now facing the New Day at WrestleMania?
I didn't realize that to be a tag team, you had to fill out a bit of paperwork at HR.
That's how short the tag team division is now.
Well, it's not even that. It was just the comments. It was like they were turning around going, "Are you two even a tag team?" And they're like, "We are now." And it's like, who have you cleared this with or something? And it was like, I didn't realize it was a HR thing that you had to go and fill a format to be a tag team. But I'm concerned for Omos because from what I hear, he's not the most fluid in the ring. So hopefully putting him with AJ will carry him to a half decent match. But
that's
then again,
that's the reason why I think they can do it, because they won't need him to tag in. But the problem is, if you get the belt on him, how'd you get the belt off him? It's almost like Nicholas and Braun, isn't it? At WrestleMania a few years ago, it's that tangent where you're going to have AJ carry it. I think in ring, though, it'll be fun. I like the way they're delaying Omos's sort of debut to this point in the ring. It's an interesting thing, and it's definitely, you can tell on this week's show, they put some real effort into getting that WrestleMania matches announced, which I thought was really, really good. Have you got anything else you want to add before we go to the next segment?
No, just obviously before the match, you had a little promo of Riddle backstage. I was checked out again for Riddle. I was just like,
I've tried not to mention that because that'll be.
If it's outside the ring, I'm really not bothered with Riddle. I can't be bothered with it.
Let's be honest, though, he's more interested in the scooter than the United States title defense he's got coming up. I know this week was a title defense, but let's go forward then. So obviously we then had a fun backstage segment. We've got the returning Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, and it ends up with R-Truth there. R-Truth dressed like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he then trades the sort of Austin replica belt for the 24/7 title. So they've got the belt off of Bad Bunny now. We've now got sort of R-Truth for the belt again. This was a feel-good segment. It was fun. I think they did well getting the belt off Bad Bunny because they kind of were stuck with him on it. But I just thought it was kind of fun. What was your thoughts?
Bad Bunny got the better deal there. He got that Smoking Skull title instead of that 24/7 because that 24/7 is horrible. But you can see why they've done it though. It's a sort of a credible way for Bad Bunny to lose a title without being pinned, and like obviously he's just won a Grammy at the weekend and all this kind of stuff. So I say it's to be fair, I've never seen someone just go, there you go, you're the champion, and swap the title for title. But I say it was a good way to get it over.
I think it was clever. The clear thing is they had to get the belt off Bad Bunny for this WrestleMania tag match against Miz and Morrison, so that kind of makes sense for me. I think it was good. We then obviously had this sort of segment obviously ending. We then had another match. It was Damian Priest versus Jackson Riker. Credit to WWE. This was actually really, really clever. Damian Priest got the win really quickly. It wasn't like the Elias match back at the start of March where it went on forever. So Damian Priest's push is continuing. But I was glad this was one and done, really. What were your thoughts?
I was skipping through because I was watching it on catch up, and I was skipping through the commercial break. And as I played it, the match was finishing, and I was like, "Oh, that's not long." And I skipped it back, and I thought, "Let me bust that clock." 38 seconds, I think the match lasted. I was like, "Okay, fair enough." But the point, like you said, the point they got across was well done. My only concern was that guitar that just didn't break on Bad Bunny.
Yeah, we'll go into that.
That was mad. Like he swung, and I was like, "That thing hasn't broke. That's gonna hurt."
I think the thing with it is obviously they do have Morrison come out, and then Bad Bunny does get attacked with the Miz with the guitar. It's not a headshot, which it's not one of the Jeff Jarrett guitars with a headshot. But fair play to Bad Bunny, he took the shot. Although the director missed the shot, which I thought was just hilarious. It's almost like you thought that it didn't actually hit him, but
they're famous for doing that in the last couple of years, missing the key moments.
It's definitely the start to this WrestleMania build. They're building for that tag match 100% with that. We then obviously had this mess of a segment. We had Shane McMahon come out for his match against Braun. It ends up with kind of Shane McMahon looking like he's going to get destroyed. He ends up hitting Braun with a camera. He gets he basically dominates on Braun. He then pulls out the Nickelodeon kind of slime. It's Slimer from the Ghostbusters. He's there in person. And he makes Braun look like a joke. I cannot believe this guy was Universal Champion last year, yet this guy is now hobbling around in slime. I get this is the feud at the moment, but for me, WWE are missing kind of a trick here. I think for me, the only way that Braun should be level to or Shane should be level to Braun is if Shane's got a hired hand like a tag team that's going to help him do the dirty work, which for me, I could not believe that Shane McMahon was able to get that elbow drop, but it further creates a match this coming Sunday at Fastlane, so hopefully it'll be one and done at Fastlane. What were your thoughts this segment?
The way they've done it, I think, made it a bit more credible, obviously with Shane hitting him with that camera like repeatedly over and over again. But it's a kids segment, isn't it? Like when they bring out the old gunge that they used to throw on someone, but it was entertaining for what it was. But it's what Braun should be doing. I don't understand why Shane McMahon is like compulsorily allowed to have a WrestleMania match. And unfortunately, I think Braun's going to now be stuck in this sort of big show role, doing all these celebrity matches every year.
Yeah. I think the thing is on Sunday, obviously they wanted to go to WrestleMania. Shane McMahon's got to win, so he's going to have to win with a helped hand. He can't do it on his own back, which maybe means that he'll have tag team or somebody help him. But have you got anything else you want to add before we go to kind of the next segment?
No, go on, mate.
Okay, our next talking point, Alexa Bliss is back. She's back in the playground. It basically ends up with her challenging Randy Orton to a match at Fastlane, one-on-one in an agenda match. It was fun to see this. It was a bit of a quick segment. And yeah, are you a fan of this potential match between Alexa and Randy Orton at Fastlane? I can't believe I'm saying that. Papa Shango might be there as well this time.
Yeah, my guess already is this is going to end as a no contest because obviously we're going to get the. Well, I presume we're going to get the Fiend come back, but we've been saying that for weeks now.
Yeah, like, he's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back on Sunday. He has to. Yeah, this is no prediction for me. What will happen is she'll be in an RKO position. Fiend will come out. He's going to have a new look, a new costume, and he'll come out, and that's the thing. But the way they've delayed it, the only positive kind of to this, I would say, when we see Randy Orton later in the show, he hasn't got the black sort of goo coming out of him. He's no longer sort of on a Hanover or whatever he was before, I think. That's kind of the thing. But yeah, no, definitely. It was kind of one of them things. Moving forward then, we've then had this Asuka versus Shayna Baszler match. Obviously, it's been building since Asuka got her teeth knocked out by Shayna Baszler. Really, really kind of quick match. Didn't really do much. Asuka getting the win. It's great to see Asuka back after her recent scare where we thought she wasn't going to be at WrestleMania. But she gets the win here. What were your thoughts?
Really good dominant display by Asuka. This is going back to Asuka of like last year. Well, more like NXT Asuka, like bringing back that unbeaten heel streak. But yeah, the way she took the bottom turnbuckle pad off and she was going to face plant Shayna into the corner, I thought that was brilliant. And obviously with the ref ejecting to stop it, it was good show, good angle.
Yeah, definitely. We then had this United States title match. It was Riddle versus Mustafa Ali. This was a really actually good match. It's obviously been building for a couple of weeks since Ali beat Riddle previously. Ali was there obviously with the whole Retribution on site. Yeah, really, really good match. But once again, Ali gets the loss really. So for me, I'm just questioning what was the purpose of Ali winning a couple of weeks ago. It just seemed to be total waste of time. Retribution, this is the point where you're thinking they're going to do this big split up angle. They've been teasing for weeks. Nothing happens. It's just sort of a row at the end and that's it, which for me, were you disappointed to see Ali not get the belt here? Because I thought this was a time really for him to finally win the belt. Give some credibility to that stable.
Yeah, the only problem is obviously I don't think Riddle's had a long enough reign to justify. I want to see Ali win it, don't get me wrong, but Retribution is just dead in the water. It's been dead since it started. Like they were coming out every week and destroying ring posts, and now they're losing. Like they're causing each other to lose. It's just just such. It's bad. It is really. It's like I say, this was probably the worst part of the show, to be fair, because it was like it's typical. One of them stands on the apron while Ali's trying to get the pin, and then it's reversed, and it's oh god, it's just bad, man. I don't understand why they keep putting this trash on TV.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the thing with it is it's just one of them things where they're stalling with time, but the breakup is hopefully coming. But for me, yeah, disappointed to see Riddle kind of retain. Although I'm a fan of Riddle, I think Ali needed the win more. But I would have been a fan if they did a DQ and then had the match at the pay-per-view, really. But as I said, it's one and done. They're tied at 1-1. I don't know, we'll get another match maybe down the line.
It's amazing how you've just booked that and it sounds better than the outcome that actually happened. By saying a DQ finish, pushing it onto the pay-per-view, because that would have made more sense and it would have been better. But unfortunately, no, it's not what we got with WWE.
Definitely. We then had this fun match between Bobby Lashley and Sheamus, the main event. This was a really, really good match. Very hard hitting. It went on for a while. Really, really fun. You've got a lot of components there from Fastlane. You've got Sheamus obviously facing Drew this coming Sunday. You've got Bobby there. Bobby's obviously the champion. He's not got a match with Fastlane, but really, really good match. It ends up with kind of Bobby Lashley getting a win. It's the right move. Bobby's just won the belt recently. He needs to keep him on a push. Drew snuck in like a bit of a coward and then got the kick right at the end when Bobby was distracted. But for me, great way to end the show. I think it was fun, and that match was really, really good. I'm really impressed with Sheamus. The work he's done over the last 6 months since he was feuding with Jeff Hardy in the bars and whatever else. This guy, since he's come to Raw, it's been really, really good. What's your thoughts of the match?
The finish was a bit disappointing because what I would like to have seen was Sheamus get a win, a lucky win, or whatever, just win tonight, go on to Sunday to win, and then interject himself and be like, right, well, I've beat both of you guys. I should be fighting for this title, and put himself in that main event at Mania and have a three-way. Because I think it would be better if Sheamus was in it, because it will still be a good match between Drew and Bobby. But Sheamus, like I said, Sheamus has been doing really, really good work since he's come to Raw. And I feel that if he doesn't get in on that match at Mania, I think it'll be an opportunity missed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the thing is, let us know in the comments what you thought kind of this Raw. If you thought it was a good show, bad show. I thought it was interesting, more interesting than not. Crazy enough, the way that they're bringing matches out from nowhere. I thought the way they were rushing to get Fastlane matches, it's kind of one of them things. I'm going to go to the comments quickly. Don Mills has got a comment there. I didn't like how Drew called Lashley a big ball bitch. Yeah, I thought it was a bit childlike.
Unfortunately, it's WWE script writing, isn't it? So yeah,
it's one of the things. The thing is, they realized that WrestleMania is 3 weeks ago. They had to get it going. For me, I think I'll put it out there now. Drew's winning on Sunday. Lashley should attack him after the bell, though. That's what you need to start doing. And I think it's going to be one of the matches where I think Sheamus and Drew, we've seen it quite a few times, but in ring it'll be great. I did hear it was going to be last man standing. That seems to be in a band. They didn't mention that at all, which maybe that'll get announced later in the week. What are your thoughts?
It's last man standing on Sunday.
That's what I heard, but then it seems to have been kind of retweeted. The way they've had these matches where they're just destroying each other all the time, I can't see it being like just a one-on-one.
Yeah, you would think it makes sense to have a last man standing. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm all for Bobby winning, to be fair, because I think it gives Drew more momentum.
He has to win. Yeah,
it gives Drew
Are you surprised they've not got?
Mania.
Are you surprised they've not got Bobby like a match on the pay-per-view, like even a squash against Miz or something? It seems strange they're not doing anything with him. I thought they'd do a contract signing with him and Drew or something. The fact that he's your champion, he's going into the pay-per-view, not defending the belt. It's just a really odd decision by WWE. I don't really know why they've done that. Really.
Yeah, sorry. When we're talking about Bobby winning on Sunday, yeah, I mean Drew. So what am I talking about? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Because the thing is, this is the whole thing now is who's going to win at Mania? Is it going to be Bobby? Is it going to be Drew? Bobby's not had that title long enough to justify losing it yet. I know Drew obviously missed his moment in front of fans to win the title, but it's really hard to call at the minute. And I think this is why I think they need to put Sheamus in this match, because as a third person, there's someone else that not necessarily say take the pinfall, but it makes it a more dynamic outcome.
I agree. I think there's an interesting transition. I think we're very much getting the Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania scenario going on with Lashley. They put Lashley in there just temporarily to get the belt back to Drew with fans. But for me, it wouldn't surprise me if Lashley wins. Lashley has to win. And I think the dream scenario, everyone wants it. I don't know if it's just me. Please in the comments, but if you disagree, Lashley wins the belt and we get Brock Lesnar step out of WrestleMania. That's the thing you need to do. You need to get people talking. Lashley versus Lesnar. They should have done it this WrestleMania. You set up for SummerSlam. They should have done it already. But let's go to kind of the final thoughts then. What was your kind of final thoughts of Raw? And give us a score out of 10 to what you thought.
I actually really enjoyed Raw. There was obviously certain bits that were just pointless and that should have been on the show. There were certain backstage segments I could have done without. But as a score, I'd go 8 out of 10. Like I said, for a go-home, it's been one of their better ones to a pay-per-view than they've normally put out. I said it filled up a Fastlane card for a pay-per-view that really shouldn't be happening. But yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think the thing is, if I was going to go for a score, I'm going to go 7 out of 10. I think the good thing about this show compared to the other weeks, they've actually built matches. It feels like they're actually doing something. We're finally on the way to kind of WrestleMania now. We got a few matches announced. The AJ Styles almost thing, it was entertaining. I got to admit, I didn't see it coming, which was fun. I enjoyed the in-ring action. I think the in-ring matches are good. I think the product clearly is missing people such as Keith Lee at the moment, which he's a big loss for me. I think if he was on the show in the WrestleMania season, I think he'd be a great addition. But sorry, after you.
I was going to say the product's missing loads of talent, because the fact that you've got AJ and Omos coming out challenging for the tag team titles is like, I'm sorry, there's so many more superstars that are established that should be fighting for them titles. Like you said, you could have had a Keith Lee come out. Like, I don't know, I just don't understand why they've pushed Omos and AJ. All right, yeah, I understand AJ needs a match, but Omos doesn't, and you've given them this random tag team title match. Like, and it's like they've not had a match together. They've not essentially earn a number one contenders match, yet they're automatically facing for the titles. I know obviously Xavier and Omos have a bit of history, but it just doesn't make sense.
I think the thing with it is, just said AJ's such a solid worker, he's going to carry on. That's the only reason why I could believe it. But going to the comments now, Dom Mills, thank you for your comment, Dom. Do you think we're not going to get Shane and Braun at WrestleMania now?
Yeah,
I think we will, mate. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but they're going to have to do something on Sunday to further carry on this feud, because if Braun wins, what is the point of it? For me, do what I said earlier in the video, is you have this match, you have some sort of help. Shane McMahon's got money, he can pay somebody to come in. You need the Mean Street Posse of 2021 to come into this and obviously help him get the win here. For me, sorry, after you, Steve.
So I was going to say, so you're telling me Shane can't win the match clean? He is the best in the world, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's the best way supposedly. Yeah, No, there you go. But no, I think that if we're going to go into kind of just the final update with Fastlane and WrestleMania, so obviously looking at the Fastlane card, we're going to have a full preview on Friday morning. That'll be live card probably at 9 a.m. Tune in if you can as well. I'm going to quickly go through it with you now, Steve. Just a quick discussion about it. So matches we know are added. We've got Alexa Bliss Randy Orton intergender match. Obviously the Fiend's coming back here. We can presume that this won't be a match. I think this will be more of an angle. I'm sure you'd agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got Braun and Shane as announced earlier. That'll be interesting. The fact it's not a gimmick or anything, I'm kind of surprised what's going to happen there. Maybe the loser will have like a slime or something. Maybe it'll be like when the Big Boss Man faced Nails and the night sticks on the pole. Maybe it'll be the slime on the pole or something. I don't know. We're getting kind of getting like that now.
What was that old WCW match where they had the electric chair in the middle of the ring?
That was the Chamber. No, it was Chamber of Horrors.
So yeah, it needs something stupid like that for that match. That's what they need.
I'm going to put it out there to all these. Yeah, all that's missing in the Shane McMahon Braun feud is Dean Douglas with his teacher gimmick, aka Shane Douglas. Needs to bring him back, sort of with a chalk on the board and stuff. But no, looking at kind of this as well. So other matches we've got here as well for Fastlane. We've got Big E, Apollo Crews. Really good job on this. They've done a great job of this. I thought this was a Mania feud, in all honesty. Looking forward to seeing it. I think it's going to be fun. I really think this is a place to give Apollo the belt, really, in the kind of title. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. That could be a good shout because, but my only worries is what they're going to do with Biggie going up to Mania. Unless it's a rematch at Mania, like say, Apollo will pick it up and then there'll be a rematch. But then you're not going to have Sammy on the Mania card. It could be a multi-man match at Mania. You never know. The way this Mania is rolling up is I think everything's looking to be multi-man. The amount of people that are involved in so many title scenes coming up, it's amazing.
I think the thing with it as well, I think they're going to have to do a lot of work in the 3 weeks they got after this Fastlane Sunday. But looking at the other matches on Fastlane, we've got the Tag Team Championship for the women, Nia Jax, Shayna, with Reginald against Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. For me, no Reginald this week on Raw. They need to finally pay that off. Obviously, the end game probably is Reginald going with Sasha Banks, I believe. But yeah, the women's tag team champions have got to retain here. I think it makes no sense for Sasha and Bianca to have the women's belts going into WrestleMania. This is where you need to really start that tension. Obviously, they've started it on SmackDown last week. Are you looking forward to this kind of match, Imran?
Well, not really. I think it's sort of really set. I think it's just a stop. It's like a stop on the way to Mania for Sasha and Bianca. Really, I think it's kind of pointless. Like who's even is it Mandy and Dana now number one contenders?
They weren't even a number one contendership match, but I guess they may be.
Because I know Lana and Naomi were.
Yeah, they cashed that shot in last week and they lost.
And then obviously you've got Natalia and Tamina as well, and it's like I don't know. It's a match I could have done without being on the pay per view. To be fair, I suppose it's just to forward the Bianca Sasha angle.
Definitely. I think obviously going into it, I think it'll be one of them matches. I think for me, it'll be interesting. We saw this match at Elimination Chamber already, but for me, I think the Nia and Shayna are winning. I'm going to be getting a bet on. I can see it now. I've already got a triple lined up. I've got Drew McIntyre 1-4 today, Roman Reigns 2-9, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax 1-2. £10 gives you £22 back. For me, it's evens. I'm surprised it's even to that. Although I did get stunned at Elimination Chamber, so let's see let's see what we know. But going to go to the comments quickly before we go to the last match of Fastlane. Don Mills again. Thank you for your comment again, Doz. Who is Kevin Owens going to fight at Mania? That's a really good kind of question. Kevin Owens is in the periphery. I'll put it out there now. Based on Elimination Chamber, I think it'll be Jey Uso. Jey Uso slammed his head in the door. That's not been forgotten about. And that's the only match because they haven't really got a lot of wrestlers available to face Kevin Owens. What's your thoughts of that? And who do you think he'll face?
I love Kevin Owens. Why can't they just put this guy? Why can't they put a title around him? I don't know why he always has to be.
Because Roman Reigns is there.
Yes, I'm saying, but yeah, Kevin's just like he cut a promo a couple of months back on a banana, and it was fantastic. And I was like, why is this guy not number one? Why is he not like? Yeah, but yeah, there's nothing for him, is there? Unless he gets a KO show segment, maybe Sammy. Because obviously Sammy and Kevin in the backstage promo, I don't know, but that's a match everyone wants at Mania. But unless there's some build up to it, but what are you going to do in 3 weeks, mind you? Yeah, it's madness. Oh, the other thing I was going to say to you as well, no Charlotte this week on Raw. That was a nice surprise.
That's a great observation. I totally forgot about that.
The show finished and I was like, no Charlotte Flair. Oh, what a relief.
Strange. Yeah, no, it's strange. But going to the last Fastlane match, we've obviously got Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, singles match for Universal title. Edge or Jey Uso with the referee. For me, Edge is your referee here. He'll win on SmackDown on Friday night. And for me, this will be a great match, same as the main event of Fastlane 2015. I think in ring it'll be great, but Daniel Bryan simply is just filling time here, really. I think we've got to go to a triple threat. The only way Roman Reigns is not winning the belt at WrestleMania or retaining it at WrestleMania is if they put it in a triple threat, because he's not going to be getting pinned at WrestleMania. I'm sure of it. I'm sure he's the most protected guy in WWE. I think it'll make no sense for Edge or Daniel Bryan to pin him, in all honesty.
Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going in Edge's favor. Like, I think to the day it's like 10 years since he retired or whatever, and everyone's kind of like, oh, Edge is going to win this. Edge is going to win this. But yeah, I can't see Roman losing.
No, I can't see Roman.
Especially with if Jimmy comes back as well, because I think Jimmy's due back from injury as well. He's been out for like a year now, and I'm pretty sure he's due back as well. So he might have something to play with it coming forward in the next month.
It's a good analysis. I think the thing with it as well is you're going to have sort of Edge accidentally cost kind of Daniel Bryan. I think obviously Edge isn't going to turn heel, although he's been acting heel in his promos and SmackDown on this build, this match against Roman at WrestleMania. For me, I think it's one of them really. Going to kind of go lastly to WrestleMania then. So WrestleMania we now have kind of 4 matches for WrestleMania 37. So the additional matches we now know are obviously New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos, as discussed earlier. Tag team titles. For me, I don't really know who's going to win. I'm going to probably say. I think the problem is it's Omos' debut. Omos isn't going to be getting pinned, so only really leaves AJ Styles really to get pinned. For me, I don't even know to make an early prediction.
That's what I'm saying.
Anybody?
Who can take a pin that's already an 11-time tag team champion? Oh, it's the New Day. Yeah, it's just one of them things that you can probably see happening. I hate to say it because I'd rather watch New Day defend against tag teams than watch Omos and AJ. I know AJ's now going for that Grand Slam champion title, but I don't understand why.
And obviously we've got like another match announced, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. Obviously it had to happen. It's the most obvious match to happen. We spoke earlier. I think for me, I'd like to see Bobby win, but we'll see how they book it. We're only 4 matches announced now, and we've got a 2-night WrestleMania. They're going to have to do a lot of work in the next 3 weeks to kind of get this card filled for both days. It makes you question whether we're going to get some part-timers coming back to probably work with some of the middle of the card.
What's been announced so far then?
The 4 matches we've got so far: Roman Reigns, Edge.
Yeah,
that's kind of official. Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, that's official. SmackDown Women's title. Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, that's official. And we've got New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. We can probably add to that unofficially Braun Strowman versus Shane again. I think that's going to happen. The Fiend versus Randy Orton in a Firefly Funhouse or a gimmick match. That's going to happen as well. Miz Morrison, Bad Bunny, Damian Priest. That's going to happen as well. And then that leaves the rest of the belts. I don't know who Riddle's going to face. Maybe Riddle will face Keith Lee. Maybe, I don't know. If he returns, I don't know how that would work. And then you've got obviously potentially Big E and Apollo again. Maybe. Seth Rollins, Cesaro's another match probably we'll get as well. And the thing is, we may get some more matches on Fastlane after SmackDown on Friday, potentially, I reckon.
Yeah, possibly. Because I don't think they're going to add any much more to... I mean, Fastlane's quite SmackDown heavy already with the matches, so I can't see them adding any more to that. So you've got to be looking forward to Mania now. But yeah, there's not... For 2 nights, and you expect the sheet show to be about 3 or 4 hours, and they've only announced 4 matches. There's probably got to be another, 6 matches to be announced? I'm expecting, 5 a night?
Yeah, it'd be interesting what they do. Obviously, we've got to get the women's championship in there as well, which probably going to be Charlotte Asuka, you believe, but Rhea Ripley's still to come in. Maybe she'll be involved in something. But let us know in the comments below, please, if you get a chance, just what you think of WrestleMania and who the matches are going to be. But no, have you got anything else you want to add, Steve, before we end the show today?
No, like I said, it's always good spending time with you, Jonesy. So yeah.
It's good to hear your opinion as well. As I said, we'll be back on Friday. It's 9 a.m. GMT time. Thank you, everybody that's been tuning into the video. I can see a few of you have been watching, so thank you very much. Really appreciate the comments, Dom, as well. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a good week. This has been Jonesy Chats Wrestling. Please give us a sub if you haven't already. Thumbs up as well if you can. Really, really helps the engagement. And yeah, you've been watching Jonesy Chats Wrestling with Steve, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care, guys. All the best.